Hello everyone, thanks for joining the tour today, and we're going to be taking a look at the newly renovated bungalows, or otherwise now known as the cottages, which we've gone through about half of them so far. And we're looking at cottages number 4 and 8 at this time, and this is just a view of the balcony. We changed the entrance from being in the middle, and so if you are familiar with the property, there used to be an entrance for 2 rooms in one of these bungalow housing structures, and now each bungalow, each room has their own entrance to the side and a little bit more privacy as well, because we split the balconies. So you don't necessarily have to talk to the neighbor if you don't want to, but you can of course go around if you would like. And moving into the room itself, these are brand new beds and frames and new design with the throw pillows and the standard pillows in the back there. And then you can also see the kitchenette unit that we renovated, and we'll get to in a second. Also, we added a working desk with a charging station, so you have USB and also Type-C there as well, right below the television. And that's for anybody who wants to get some work done, especially those work from home people. And this is a wider view of the room, and I just want to make note of the AC, because these used to be fan cooled rooms, and now we got rid of the louver windows, and so now it's completely sealed up, if you will, with, as far as the windows go, brand new windows. And also want to bring attention to the ceilings. So the ceilings used to be flat, and now we brought them up to an apex to give a little bit more room and make it feel a little bit more spacious, but still maintain the coziness. And also bringing some more attention to the far right corner of the kitchenette that we have, and we'll get to that in a second, and also the newly renovated bathroom. So we basically gutted this entire place. Even the floor tiles are brand new as well. And this is another angle of the bed, and just want to bring some attention to the LED bed frame, as well as the embedded nightstands and lamps, and another view of the kitchenette, I should say. And as you can see, it has basically all the utensils and tools that you might need to cook a meal. Included is a mini fridge there down on the left, and a hot plate, coffee maker, ice bucket, all the knives and utensils that you may need to feed a small family. Not necessarily Thanksgiving dinner, but you can definitely chef it up in there, especially if you're staying for an extended period of time. This might be a perfect type of accommodation for you. And that essentially is the kitchen. And now moving on to the bathroom. And as I mentioned before, like floor to ceiling, new floor tiles, new ceiling tiles. Got the LED frame around the mirror to give a little bit more lights. We changed out the square louver windows for the ship window, I guess you can call it. And we got the rainfall shower head and the glass frame shower door. Even the towel holders, those are all new. And again, trying to bring together everything in the room, the kitchenette, and to complete the cottage experience, if you will. So very happy and proud of how this was done, and really wanted to give a modern look and feel to this new room category, the cottage. And so also with this wider angle, want to bring attention to the closet. So you got some drawer space there, and you got some hanging space as well, and your safe, of course, and the ironing board is on the other side in between the closet and the window there. And yeah, another angle of the room, and also want to bring attention to that long standing mirror there, so full frame mirror. And that essentially is the bungalow, and this is kind of our way of paying homage to my dad and where he started from with this hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. Started right with one bungalow and grew to the 60-room resort that Travelers Beach Resort is now. And my dad hasn't seen it as yet physically. I think he's seen pictures and everything like that. So just want to share this renovation with you all. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. So back to our regularly scheduled program. This podcast is supported by Discovery Water. Whether I'm working or training, I reach for Discovery Water. 100% premium Jamaican spring water. Bottled in glass, no plastic, no gimmicks. Refill, not landfill. Just clean, natural hydration from right here on the island. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Forgot to plug in power for the camera. I just noticed it. We are at 70%. We'll get to that in a second. Want to get the show started. Hope everything is going well in your world. I am back from a conference that I was at in Atlanta last week, which was really, really awesome. So happy I went. The name of it was Podcast Summit. And so always going to these things, trying to level up what we're doing here on the channel, how I do things. And of course, just really, really phenomenal networking. Never really hung out in Atlanta before. This is the most amount of time I spent there. Usually I'm just like kind of passing through or going somewhere. Still didn't really see Atlanta. I think I left the hotel once for a dinner with a friend who lives there. And that's it. We didn't even go anywhere. He had to get home for his wife's birthday. And I just went back to my hotel. So hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. Got a really good show today, as a matter of fact. As you can see, I don't know if you saw, Jamaica has been ranked the #1 most peaceful island in the Caribbean, which we're going to get into. We're going to read the article, what that means. A lot of things, quite frankly, that I have been saying that makes Jamaica such a positive destination to invest in and, of course, to live in. I do want to talk a little bit about Montego Bay Airport. Simon Crossgell at CVM just came out with a news report kind of breaking down some really, I think, exciting stuff for St. Louis International Airport, Montego Bay Airport, that if you've passed through in the last year or so, in the last couple of years, as a matter of fact, you see that there's a lot of construction, a lot of change going on. And you kind of, I hope everybody at least has been joining the channel and this community for a little bit, is kind of starting to feel, but you can kind of see the direction that Jamaica is going in with the airport. And if you travel, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if you've gone to Europe in the last 5 years or so, or even, right before the pandemic, you see how their airports are designed and how efficient a lot of them are, even Southeast Asia as well. And there's just a lot of elements that I saw in those regions in my travels that I see being brought here to Jamaica, to our shores. And the design too is like really beautiful. And I think it's something that we all can be proud of. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Talk a little bit about some investments as well at the end. If we get to it, you know how I can be going on and on and on, but all exciting stuff. Also want to announce / confirm ThropX London Connect is happening next weekend, July 18th. And we're doing it. If you are interested, I'm going to send out an email tomorrow, as a matter of fact, ask you to sign up. If you're not on the email list, I would encourage you to do so. You can go to thropx.com and you can sign up there. And we'll get the list going. I should have been better prepared for this. But you'll know, look out for the email, sign up for the email list. Follow me on Instagram as well. We're going to put up a flyer this week in the next couple of days so we can get people signed up. Location is not announced yet, but it's going to be about 12 o'clock on the 18th of July, ThropX London Connect. I'll also announce it later in the stream. Yeah, next Saturday, the 18th. So very much looking forward to that. Sorry to confirm so late, but this is a lot later. Excuse me. I would say a lot sooner than we did last year because I was just so very concerned about too many people showing up. But we're a little bit better prepared this year, and we can announce it earlier. I think I announced it literally the Wednesday before the Saturday, or maybe the Tuesday or Wednesday before the Saturday, and we had a really, really great turnout. So I'm expecting to have a decent turnout and looking forward to connecting all of the friends across the pond, and I'm so happy that I'm doing it. Sorry to confirm it so late, but that's this summer. Lots and lots and lots of traveling this summer, mostly for business and work. But I love traveling. I don't mind it at all. I'm very much looking forward to ThropX London Connect. So you can look out for that. I will, for those who are watching this on the replay, I'm going to have a link by the time you watch this. Hopefully, I'm going to have a link in the description below, and we'll just have signups there as well. I think that will be pretty easy for everybody to sign up, and always a good time, always great networking at these international connects. So of course, please let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from, I should say. Always love to hear where everybody's coming in from. Even if you're watching on the replay, please do that. And then, of course, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We are at 68,989 subscribers. We should be able to get to 69,000 by the end of the stream, right? So let's see. 11, that's 11 people. I know there's 11 people in here right now. I know there's 11 people watching that are not subscribed to the channel, which is crazy. Just sign up. Just hit that subscribe. It's free. And we get to 69,000. We can do that by the end of this stream. And or at least on the replays, at least we can get 9, 10, 11 people to subscribe to the channel. I think that's pretty much the lineup for the show today. We're gonna read the article together, and I want to watch this news article. I'm very excited for the news article. Oh man, this one is very long. Okay. No worries. Sometimes I just like put the articles together and I just don't even read them. Sometimes just the headline. But I actually enjoy that better because we could kind of read through it together and experience and learn at the same time. So I always think that's cool. So let's hop to the comments real quick, and then we'll get into the article. 80's here. What's going on? Hi, Throp, checking in from Woodbridge, Ontario. Oh yeah, forgot. We got 2 challenges that we're up against today on the stream. One, it's 3. It's threatening lightning and thunder out there. So the power has gone in and out, but then we were also on a scheduled power outage. JPS was doing some upgrades here in the Negril, Westmoreland region. So I think we're back on the main power. So we should be okay. I think they finished. We have the generator anyway. So what I'm saying is the power may cut out for a second and then come back on. So bear with me if that does happen. Hopefully that's not the situation. Also, they're doing a little bit of construction and some jackhammering. I'm not sure if you could hear in the mic. Let me know, and I can make some adjustments, but hopefully it's not too annoying for you. So those are our challenges that we're working through today, but we are going to push through. Back to the comments. Hi, Throp, checking in from Woodbridge, Ontario, a suburb of Toronto, where the Italians planted their stake. Jamaica, a nation of peaceful, God-loving people, could not fund the violence. So who funded it? I'm not. I think you're talking. I think maybe you're speaking to the title and thumbnail. 80s here. Skeptic Jamaican, continue the great work. Nice meeting you. What's going on? We met. You want to tell? Should I tell the story here? I'm assuming I don't want to say your real name, but very, very interesting situation in on my trip to Atlanta coming back. And so Skeptic Jamaican, I believe this is the same person. He was on, we were live streaming last week, and I don't know who the folks who were here who watched that stream either on the replay or was here live with us. He had asked a question or / made a statement about AI technology and the future of the world. And I didn't understand the context. And I was like, you're going to have to explain that one to me, and just never got back to it. Fast forward, I go to this podcast summit conference in Atlanta. Conference went great. Yesterday morning, I'm getting myself together to go to the airport. Hail an Uber, order an Uber, get in the Uber. And then dude was like, wait, where do I know you from? And I was like, I have this platform on YouTube where I talk about Jamaica and help people move there and invest there. And he was like, wait, wagwan. And then he just gets into it. And he was like, I just left a comment the other day on the live stream. And of course, we get hundreds, thousands of comments. How am I supposed to remember one out of so many? And then he explains it. And then he says, hey, I left that comment about AI and technology and the future of the world. I, of course, remembered the comments, and we didn't have a chance to explain it. And then right there in the Uber, he's like, now I have a chance to explain it. And it was just crazy. Like, what are the chances of something like that happening? Like, how many things have to go right at the same time, on time. Alignment. I meant to leave earlier. I got up late. Like, all the things for us to align at that moment. And it was just crazy. And there you go, confirming what I'm saying. Yes, it was me. You don't have to use my real name. Exactly. And just like I don't know, like mind-boggling, right? It's just mind-boggling. There's a better chance of winning the lottery than something like that happening. And we had a great conversation, great understanding about of where he was thinking, and I agree with a lot of things he was saying. And then you also gave me a book, which I appreciate. I have it at home, and I will look at it as well. And we are heading to a different world for sure, a different world for sure. And man, appreciate the conversation and the ride, and just mind-boggling. Like, what kind of world do we live in for something like that to happen? Well, great seeing you on here again, and thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for the support. But I just thought that was just so cool that something like that happened. Let's keep rolling here. Donna Bryce, happy Sunday. Throp and Throppers from Ottawa, Canada. And please listen to Donna and hit the like button, folks. It definitely helps out. Saw people on Facebook saying how good your food is at Travelers, which I know well. Thank you very much for that. Glad you enjoy it. Donna said, saw your Waymo experience. You are braver than I am. Yes, I took for the first time a driverless vehicle in Atlanta, which is the company Waymo. I was on my Instagram. I posted it. Pretty cool. Really, really cool. Definitely something that will take getting used to. But this is kind of what you're saying here, Skeptic Jamaican, about the future and where things are going. And we're moving into society where we're going to be relying more and more, becoming used to relying more and more on technology, artificial intelligence, robots, etc. And it was a smooth ride, for the most part. It did do like a very crazy break one time. I saw what it saw, like it thought this car was coming out, but the car was very far away. And of course, safety first, and it just like slammed on the brakes. But that was about it. But you can tell like this is going to be the norm, that cars. I could see, I was like, man, Jamaica's not ready for this, but that's coming. I think we're probably less than 10 years away from that. I think just that experience alone welcomed me, start the ride. Very simple. No tip necessary as well. It didn't even ask me on the Uber app if I wanted to tip the driver, because there was no driver. And it's going to be cheaper and more cost effective for everybody. I know that's going to be a fight here in Jamaica. I'm sure, just like Uber has been a fight here in most places, but we're going to have to move on as a society at some point. Those taxi drivers, is it going to happen here in Jamaica in 10 years? I highly doubt that. But at some point, it's not going to make sense for us to have drivers anymore. If there's machines that can get us that to and from cheaper, we're always talking about how expensive things are getting, etc. And if this could bring down the price, imagine going to the airport, driving from Montego Bay to Negril, and instead of paying $100, you pay $30 or something like that. Anyway, food for thought. Joseph, what's going on? Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Tuning in from Costa Rica, Pura Vida. Good to have you on. Chiming in from South America. Pretty awesome. Jeff, what's going on? Thank you for being a channel member, Jeff. Always appreciate you. Hey, Thropping everyone. Happy Sunday. Chiming in from Montreal. Throp, would be nice to see you interview Chef Andre Fowlers. Is that the Rock House Skylark chef? I think. Let me know if I got that right. Copeland Russell, congrats to Jamaica. Best peaceful place in the Caribbean. Big them up. Big up the PM, excuse me. Change says, based on 2026 data available up to mid-year, Jamaica's homicide rate for 2026 is projected to fall 12 to 15%. Fall in the, 12 to 15 per 100,000 range, the lowest in modern Jamaican history. We're heading in a phenomenal direction in that respect for sure. Very, very exciting. Very, very proud as well. Monica, what's going on? Hi, Throp. Happy summer. Another great show, always informative and interesting. Blessings on you, Throp. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Kaido, hi, Throp. I think you should speak patois for the remainder of the show. That ain't going to happen no time soon. What was the book about? The book is on basically artificial intelligence. That's what it's on. I forget the name of the title and the author, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Rasta Picnic. Rainy day here in South Florida. I think it's about to storm here as well. Delroy, what's happening? Happy Sunday from Mississauga. Mark, what's happening? Good day, Throp and Throppers chiming in from Brampton, Canada. Cheryl, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on. Miami Cycling, what's going on? A red stripe every 15 minutes until Throp comes to see me. What's going on, dude? Good to see you, man. Sorry I missed you while you're here, man. Timing just did not align. Joe, what's going on? Hi, everyone from Montreal, Canada. Much love to all. Nicole, hi, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday. Donna Bryce says, yes, Rykoff Skylark and three-time winner of the Cove. Chopped on the Food Network, personal chef to Bruce Springsteen and others. Awesome. Congrats to him on that. Hi, Throp. Jala Ford tuning in from the UK. I'm not sure if you heard, Jala, but we are doing a ThropX London Connect next Saturday in London somewhere. July 18th, we are doing a meetup somewhere in London. I am not sure where. It's probably going to be around midday, around 12 o'clock or so. I hear you guys are getting some nice weather, very hot weather over there. So looking forward to meeting as many of you as humanly possible. All right, let's get to today's feature presentation, which is some exciting and very proud news that the Caribbean's most peaceful island of 2026 is a renowned beach beauty with refreshing waters, and that is none other than Jamaica. I'm going to put the article inside of the comment section here, and you all can read along with or look at it a little later, up to you. I'm going to go ahead and start reading. So this article is on islands.com. It was written by Bridget Gleason, came out yesterday. Sorry, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, July 3rd. And here we go. Every year, the Institute for Economics and Peace, a nonprofit think tank based in Sydney, releases its Global Peace Index, GPI. The report features rankings of the world's most peaceful places. At the top of the list is Iceland, but when it comes to Caribbean islands, the most peaceful country in 2026 is Jamaica, famous for its beautiful beaches and refreshing waterfalls. For context, Jamaica came in 70th place overall among 163 listed. While that number may not sound impressive, the country's ranking is high compared to others in the region. In North and Central America, only Canada and Costa Rica had better scores. On the other end of the spectrum, Haiti is considered the region's least peaceful nation and comes in at 142, and globally, the least peaceful place is Russia. What exactly goes into the GPI rankings, travelers may wonder. The organization looked at various factors, including some that are immediately relevant to prospective tourists, like safety and security and ongoing conflict. In comparison to the other 162 places that appear in the report, Jamaica fared well in the ongoing domestic and international conflict category, scoring 1.475 on a scale of 1 to 5, from most peaceful to least, and closer to the middle of the pack in societal safety and security with 2.384 score. Relax on one of Jamaica's many peaceful beaches. Man, what is that Frenchman's Cove? Anybody know? Looking at that picture, anybody can tell. It looks like it, but I'm not 100% certain. Maybe it'll say in the article. Frenchman's Oh, there it is. Essentially, got it right there. Okay. See, like I said, I didn't read this article. What do all those numbers mean for travelers? In short, visitors are free to enjoy Jamaica's natural wonders without worrying too much about their personal safety. Enjoy the peaceful environment while exploring a few of the 25 best beaches in the Caribbean. Some of the most beautiful spots around the island include Frenchman's Cove, a private resort beach, and Elizabeth Taylor's one-time vacation getaway. At this natural attraction in Port Antonio, there's a cool stream that flows into the ocean. So even when temperatures soar, the Cove offers refreshing water for a swim or quick dip. Another popular destination is 7 Mile Beach in Negril, a paradise with bright turquoise water and gorgeous white sand beach. Ideal for kayaking, sailing, and sunbathing by day, the beach turns into a lively open air party after dark. For a more relaxed atmosphere, head north of Negril to Half Moon Beach, a family friendly escape with calm water and seafood restaurant that that's beloved by locals. For even more peaceful beaches, explore one of the few remaining stretches of Jamaica's coastline that's yet to be developed, Robins Bay, located in St. Mary and the country's northeast. I don't even know where that is. The area features 3 beaches across 15 miles of shoreline. 2 are private, but the public beach is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous place to get away from it all, floating in aquamarine waters while taking in views of the quiet green hills and rocky cliffs that rise up behind the bay. All right, this is becoming a sales pitch for for Jamaica. That's not what we want here, but we get it. I think this is pretty cool, and I think this is great. And I am no economist, but I feel like a lot of it has to do with the stability of just the government. I'm going to see if I could find another article. I would love to get into it from more of an economic standpoint as opposed to a sales standpoint. Let's see here. All right, got it. Okay, I think I found an article. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is by, oops. This is the Observer. All right, Peace Prize. Jamaica, most peaceful country in the Caribbean, says Global Peace Index. I think we got that. We got the gist of it. Less than 24 hours before Minister of National Security. All right, let's see. Okay, here are the scores. North and Central America, Canada number 1 overall score. Jamaica number 2, 70 overall. Yeah, I wanna learn from more of an economic standpoint as opposed to the ranking, which is this is great. This is really really great, and of course we still have our challenges here in Jamaica. You know, I get it. I'm not saying that we are living in a utopia by any stretch of the imagination, but it's when you yeah when you compare it to a Russia for sure, we're of course a very very peaceful country. We're not involved in any sort of international conflict, which I think is, such a huge plus. And I've always said, and this is what I was alluding to before, is that we have a very, very stable government. Yes, a lot of theatrics in Parliament, especially as of lately. A lot of very, what would I say, colorful debates that are happening. And that shows the passion of the leadership of the country on both sides of the aisle, right? But at the end of the day, we have free democratic elections that happen. And when you think from an investor standpoint, not only is the government stable, but when you look at the trajectory of our economy, it's also not only stable, but it's also steadily rising year over year. You couple that, and then I know this is not what the article is about, but you couple all of this with as somebody stated in the comments here, with the ever declining murder rate that is going down year over year over year, is just incredible. And it's really putting us in a really, really wonderful position. And I kind of went on a rant about this last week on the live stream, just thinking just 3 years into the future from now, just putting all these little pieces of this puzzle together and just like imagining and thinking what Jamaica is going to be like. It's going to be like, so 3 years from now, call it 2029. And if you compare 29 to 2019, yes, even just right before the pandemic, I mean, it's going to be such a night and day difference. And I say that in context. If you look at, and I'm saying this from because I've lived this, if you look at 2019 compared to 2009, not much of a difference, honestly, not much of a difference in the country. but now you're going to see this. You'll almost look at it as if there is some sort of explosion that has happened, because there has been decades worth of work, investment, patience in the direction that the country is going in. And like I keep saying, I think 2029, I want to say, is just like a lot of these big projects are going to be complete, both private and public. And then it's going to, as you extrapolate into the future, it's just going to become bigger and better for all. And it's just going to become just more and more prominent. And, that's my prediction. We're going to have to plug the camera in shortly. We're at 60%. Let's get to some comments here before we get into the next thing. John says, yes, I remember. I'll look out for the details. Okay, that's for the ThropX London Connect happening next week, July 18th, Saturday, July 18th. Patricia, hey, from Amsterdam. Hope you're enjoying Europe over there. Kaido, there's a good Diary of the CEO episode with Karen Howe about AI. Check it out. Okay, I will. Chemist Smitty, am I saying that right? Hello, Throp. Go Jamaica. Thanks for joining. Miss Dale, what about Cayman? I don't know nothing about Cayman. I've been there once as a kid, and maybe about 9 years ago was the last time I went. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see it on the list. I don't mean to be dismissive. The article just didn't talk about it. I'm not sure. What is the agenda for Throp Connect in London? Is it just a meetup? Yep, just the meetup. We're not doing like any sit downs or anything like that. Our presentations, at least that's how I have it. I mean, that's how I've done it in the past. That's what we did last year. So more of a networking situation than anything else. But I'm open to ideas. That's kind of the way that we've been doing it and do it in the past, and it's worked out quite well. Miss Dale, looking like Portland. You're right about that in the article. Alex, Germany, good seeing you. Thanks for chiming in from over there. Drop Cayman is peaceful too. Yep, I thought Cayman was very peaceful. We always have a stable government. That's right. I think that's one of the many things that attract people to. I don't know about always, at least in recent times. Let's say in the last 30 years, we've been a very very peaceful government. But I don't know about before my time. Let's put it that way. Chemist Smitty, is there cottage with 2 beds for those of us that are couples with young children? No, but we do have standard rooms with 2 beds. We have deluxe rooms with 2 beds. We have superior rooms with 2 beds. So we do have that. We do have that available. Nicole says, it does look like Frenchman's Cove. I was reading about the history of Portland a few days ago and saw a similar picture to that one. Thank you for that. Dennis Marshall, the big problem is the politics. Just like one party don't fix the road because it more of the other side live there. I see what you're saying. Dying anywhere is nice if you have money and vice versa. Okay, I don't, maybe. I don't necessarily fully agree with that. Haiti tuning in from Macon, Georgia. Excuse me, Hale, not Haiti. Hale, tuning in from Macon, Georgia. Good to have you on. What's going on, Rich? Greetings to you as well. All right, wanted to watch. Let's see. Want to watch this next video. I thought this was cool, and I'm going to plug in the camera while we watch it. Let me know if you can hear. We had some sound issues last week. Everybody hearing? Let me know if you could hear that. The video was playing. Let me know if you can hear the video. Thumbs up. Yes. Somebody comments. I'm going to keep playing it. No sound. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's try this again. All right. We're going to go to. All right. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to do this Gonna have to do this myself. Like verbally do it myself. All right. One moment here, guys. Where are we at? Okay, I think. Hold on. All right, let me know if you can hear this. If not, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Now there's no pic. Okay, are you hearing it now? Are you hearing it now? Let me know. Still no? Okay. Sorry. We're gonna have to. All right, have one more trick on my sleeve. If this doesn't work, that's it. We don't have anything else. All right. You know what? Let me not waste you guys' time. Play some little entertainment. 1 second. We'll be right back. Today we're visiting the Pinnacle's beautiful 2-bedroom sample apartment located on the 3rd floor of Tower 1, the Swallowtail Tower. This unit is lagoon facing, offering open water views and a peaceful backdrop that defines the overall atmosphere of this space. This tour will give you a real sense of what to expect from these residents and what living will feel like here. The apartment features a double balcony, ensuite bathrooms, and a thoughtful layout designed for comfort and flow. So come along and join us for this stunning apartment tour. So Kanya, this is a 2-bedroom that we're seeing, the concept 2-bedroom.
Yes, this is our 1299 square feet lagoon facing 2-bed.
Okay, and we are on the 3rd floor?
You're on the 3rd floor, and remember living starts on the 3rd floor. So this is the lowest possible level to live, lowest view that you'll get. Everything else is elevated, it goes up. So it's 1299 square feet, it's open concept, living, dining, kitchen. 9.5 feet is the distance between the ceiling and the floor. Category 5, hurricane-proof windows and doors. Quartz countertops, recessed lights, central air, and the furniture, of course, is for staging purposes.
Okay, and so everybody will have an opportunity to choose and design, decorate?
It depends.
Okay.
So in the residential tower, this tower, yes.
Okay.
But if you're in the Canary Tower and you're going to want to put your unit back with the hotel, we have a tier, different options that you can choose from.
Okay. So obviously fully customizable, dream furniture, dream table.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay. Beautiful. And now moving into the bedroom. Which bedroom
primary
is this?
Bed.
This is the primary bed.
This is primary bed. So you get this view. It's a rainy day, but still a beautiful view.
Definitely.
From this primary bed, look at the space. It's a king-size bed, night tables. You can recline here, ensuite bathroom with a wet room, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have your big bath where you can soak, and then there's also a shower.
So that's one thing that I really like about this is that
the space.
I didn't know that's what it's called, the wet room.
I just had a client say to me the other day, that's not really a bathroom, it's a wet room. And I'm like, yeah, it is a wet room. It's a wet room. You close this door and it's a wet room.
And it definitely has that indoor-outdoor feeling.
Yes. And you won't be outside looking in. You won't be able to see, but you can stay inside and look outside. So you can be soaking while taking in that view.
Yeah, nobody can see you.
Yes.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah. No, I love the layout. I love the tall ceilings as well. I'm a huge fan
of high ceilings. Yeah.
Definitely.
Very nice.
And you get 2 balconies here.
Yes. So you have one to the left and then one in front, and then this one. Ooh, you feel that breeze?
Yeah.
This one goes all the way down to the secondary bed.
And I also like the fact that each bedroom has its own bathroom.
And closet.
And closet, right.
Own bathroom and closet, so you can have your own privacy. One thing else that I like about this, about all the units, although it's central air, each unit still has their own control. So you can have the AC out here, the master one is on, and you can adjust it to what you want in your bedroom, on, off, whatever the temperature. You can do that in your bedroom.
Very nice.
Closet space, bathroom. See how the lights came on? See how the lights came on? I didn't touch anything.
I love it. Nice. Very nice. Again, tall ceilings, tall enclosure as well.
A lot of space for showering.
Tons and tons of space. I love the inset as well. Anytime I go, it feels like a hotel, you know. And
the finishes? Yes.
The finishes, but anytime I go to a hotel, like the bathroom is so important. And having that, as simple as that is, it is a huge convenience.
It is, absolutely.
Very beautifully designed. And this behind us with the balcony.
This is a balcony with more views.
Very nice.
Grade 12A porcelain tiles, and same, we're consistent with the windows and doors, 9.5 feet, category 5 hurricane proof.
Excellent. And we just went through Melissa, still here, no problem, nothing, no issue at all.
No damages at all.
And I would presume that because the glass is so thick and it is made for that type of impact, that's why it's so quiet in here.
Exactly.
And you don't hear the outside traffic or even the rain that is coming down right now.
You hear nothing from outside.
That's crazy.
There's construction going on right now. You don't hear any construction noises. Once they're closed, that's it. It blocks out all the noise.
That's huge.
Amazing.
Talk about peace and quiet.
Peace of mind, serenity, relaxation. Yes.
Oh, this is great. And how much would a unit like this go for?
This right now is $691,000. This exact unit.
$691,000.
Yes.
Man, get it while you can.
Get it while you can.
Get it while you can. Now, this is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Kanya, for taking the time.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the tour of this 3rd floor, 2-bedroom, lagoon-facing apartment at the Pinnacle Swallowtail Tower. If you'd like more information on the Pinnacle, please scan the QR code on the screen or visit the link in the description below. Hey there, Throp here. I wanted to interrupt just for a minute to tell you about my family's hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. We are a 60-room Jamaican-owned and operated hotel located on the world-famous 7-mile white sand beach of Negro, Jamaica. My father started this property back in '94, and myself and my brothers Winfield and Wingate took over in 2011 after my father retired. Recently, we've made some upgrades to the property, particularly to our rooms. They've been redesigned and reimagined with comfort and style at the forefront. The textures, the light, the layout, each space was designed with intention, balancing modern touches with the familiar spirit of travelers. Our deluxe rooms and suites, which you are seeing on your screen now, have gone through an incredible transformation. We now have 2-bedroom suites available for your accommodations next time you're in the grill. We're especially proud of our gym. It's designed to give you a high-quality workout experience with premium equipment, plenty of space, and an energizing atmosphere. Our lounge has become one of the more popular public spaces, perfect for a family game night or catching the big game. Of course, our restaurant and bar is located right on the beach, so you can enjoy the most beautiful sunsets in the world. We look forward to welcoming you home. For more information, please visit www.tbr.travel.
Welcome home.
All right, we're back. I think I got it figured out. Let's see if we can do it. All right. And we got power to the camera. Okay. Let's see if this works. If I got nothing else after this. All right, let's try it.
It's time to toss things over to Joel Crosskill for the business report.
Here,
Lots to
everybody
share
here.
with you in the business report today. Unperturbed by a downturn in visitor arrivals in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, Jamaica's primary tourism gateway, serving over 70% of the island's international travelers, Sangster International Airport, opened its biannual airport forum with an account.
We get. Tell me you can hear. Please tell me you can hear. If not, I'm gonna have to walk this through slowly with you all.
Of what's being done to upgrade efficiency and improve experiences, with the self-baggage drop immediately catching the eye.
We are launching with...
Yes, I'm not seeing anybody confirm. I don't want to be watching this by myself.
American Airlines as one of our first partners in this experience, but this will allow passengers to not only check in at the kiosk self-service, rather than heading to a traditional counter, they can actually take their bags from the kiosk.
You guys have done this. If you've gone to Europe, you've done this before. The self check-in, like you literally print out your own bag, print out your own boarding pass, not boarding pass, bag tag for your bag. If you're checking a bag, you put it on the scale, weighs itself, and then it just kind of goes off on its own. This is not new technology to other parts of the world, but I think it's great here for Jamaica. It's just going to make things so much more efficient.
The self-bag drop, and that bag goes directly to screening.
However, the introduction of new routes is a telltale sign that destination Jamaica remains as attractive as ever, according to Shane Monroe, CEO of MBJ Airports Limited.
We're also seeing encouraging growth from emerging and diversifying markets.
I just want to pause this here real quick. And hold on,
Latin.
And I think this is great. This is really, really great. Like the diversification in flights coming to Jamaica, visitors coming here, and especially Latin America. I think he's gonna go.
America has seen a robust growth of 43.9%, while the European market is up 2.4%. And this is important because it shows the value of market diversification. Panama.
I think I want to pause here as well. And I think this is also very, very important and just exciting for me because it's opening up, especially South American market with Panama City and Bogota. So these are all direct flights, and they're going to talk about even direct flights from MBJ to Medellin. Incredible, 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 incredible. Just looking at these numbers. And this is not the way I think of it too. It's not just, yes, tourism for sure, but it opens up the lanes for doing business as well. Both ways, Jamaicans doing business in Colombia, Colombians doing business in Jamaica as well. And then it also opens up the entirety of South America, because once you get there, it's kind of like I haven't done a lot of South American traveling, to be honest, but it's kind of like Europe or even Southeast Asia. It's kind of like once you're in the region, you could there's so many direct flights to different countries and different cities in the region. Like same thing with like Africa as well. Like going there, like you when you're in that area, you can do multiple African nations. In Asia, same thing. You can do multiple Asian countries because the direct flights are just so regular and so normal.
Generated the highest absolute growth, adding nearly 14,000 passengers. And we're also seeing strong contributions from our new direct service to Bogota.
New origin markets are also being expanded, with developments in the services arriving from alternate routes. Also worth noting for those connected to tourism.
Looking at new service to Montego Bay, we had the launch of Medellin service.
So I think this airline is so important to the region. I feel, I could be wrong, maybe somebody can look it up, but I feel like this is maybe I should look it up. Let's do that. I feel like this is Wingo. I think it's a Dominican airline. Let's see. Wingo is a low-cost airline based in Bogota, Colombia. No, there's Arajet. That's the one that I'm thinking of. So this Wingo is a low-cost airline based in Bogota, Colombia. It's the main hub of El Dorado International Airport BOG, and it operates as a subsidiary unit of the Panamanian airline group Copa Holdings. Awesome. Arajet. Yep, Arajet is a low cost carrier from the Dominican Republic as well. These are just so really awesome for the region. I hope they are. I don't know the history on them or anything like that, but I hope they're incredibly successful. I think they're so important for the Caribbean. They're so important for South America, and really awesome that we have these types of relationships with these countries. Also, pause here as well. We got direct flights from Montego Bay to Medellin, I believe. Let me just look that up real quick. You know what? Hold on. Go. You know, we're gonna go through that in a second. We're gonna go through some flight. I was looking at flights just to see what it cost. I mean, I looked at flights in July, under $300 round trip. Crazy from Montego Bay, like crazy. Like going back to what I was saying before on the previous streams about Jamaica just having just great flight patterns. Going to doing the ThropX London Connect direct flight from, I mean, we all know this, but still very easy. Book a direct flight from Montego Bay to Heathrow, 9 hours, however many minutes, and vice versa. Very easy for me to do something like that. And you think about this for yourselves, potentially living here, spending extended time in Jamaica and wanting to pop around and see the world. I think Jamaica is an incredible location to do that from, especially from more particularly Montego Bay. Kingston Airport, Norman Manley International Airport has its advantages as well, especially for business travelers going to North America, especially on South Florida. But I mean, this is mega. This is huge. Having this 3 times weekly, definitely going to be taking advantage of this at some point in time.
Service operated by Wingo that will be 3 times weekly from June 23. It's a major step for us in terms of Latin America connectivity, and this route is important for us for several reasons. It diversifies our source market, creates a stronger bridge between Jamaica and South America, and certainly supports business and cultural exchange. Also for the winter season, Porta Airlines.
I think this is also great. I have no idea where Hamilton is, but I know Ottawa a lot. We have a lot of guests that come from Canada, obviously. But having this during the winter, so many Canadians are always trying to get out of that very harsh Canadian winter and wanting to come down to Jamaica. I mean, and just giving them more direct options, flight options is just incredible. And it's, I just know like a lot of people, Canadians, they go through hell, coming here sometimes 2-3 stopovers, staying overnight in certain places in Toronto. I know a lot of people do that to make it here. That's how much they love Jamaica. That's how much they look forward to coming down to Jamaica, and just having, more flights directly, and this is just one airline, it's not Air Canada or anything like that. So this is really great to see.
Will introduce new services from Toronto, Hamilton, and Ottawa,
with visitors in the coming months and years set to benefit from a suite of airport initiatives and major projects intended to extend the hub's position as the region's airlift innovator.
So I'm going to, I don't know the last time you guys been to the airport. The airport, Montego Bay Sanctions International Airport, is just looking more and more beautiful, more and more modern. Just something I think just we all can just be so proud of, and we'll be so proud of once it's all complete.
Hall is important because it's customer facing. It's where the departure experience begins. This project, which is in its final stages, and creates a better experience for passengers and staff. Another major infrastructure project that is well underway is the
I mean, take a look at this. I'm going to pause this a few times. Like when I was watching this earlier, this got me super excited. So this is the Immigration Hall expansion of the Immigration Hall from 1,300 square meters to 2,600 square meters, including additional immigration kiosk, and all centrally located for all passenger flows.
Expansion of the security and immigration hall. Both of these areas, that's the size of those areas will be doubled. We're also making a major expansion, and I would say an exciting one, to the front of house. We call this the park.
Yeah, look at this. This thing, or there's another really awesome picture. This looks like Dubai, like very, very, very beautifully done. I just want to pause on that image so you guys can take a look, soak it in a little bit. Looking beautiful.
Archers Plaza and Promenade project, but certainly it's about transforming the front of the airport. Majority of the passengers to Samson International Airport are by bus, so we'll have a dedicated.
I thought this was so smart, so smart. We all remember what it used to be like, the buses dropping off people. This is before even the new remodeling that's been done at the airport at Sanctuaries right now. Remember, like, they used to drop off the buses basically not across the street from the airport, but like basically across the street from like the hub of the airport. And then everybody used to have to walk across with their luggage in the hot sun. As you can see here from this depiction, you got covering right away. This is a lot more safer. It looks like, and it looks like almost like palm leaves when they have the aerial photo there. So it looked.
The 3-megawatt solar PV project.
Energy resilience certainly is a strategic priority for our airports. And certainly Hurricane Melissa reminded us that utilities cannot be taken for granted. We're adding 3 megawatts now, but by the end of the year, when we would have restored other PV systems.
I think this is so smart. So smart.
We will be at 6 megawatts installed solar PV.
Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications Darrell Vaz spoke to the significance of that advancement.
These efforts have recently received international recognition through the Sanctuaries International Airport's achievement of Level 3 Airport Carbon Accreditation under the Airports Council International Airport Carbon Accreditation Program. This significant milestone reflects the airport's success not only managing its own environmental footprint, but also engaging airlines, ground handlers, concessionaires, and other airport partners in a coordinated approach to reducing carbon emissions across the wider airport community. Together, we'll continue to build a modern, resilient, sustainable, and globally competitive aviation industry that serves the interests of all Jamaicans.
And that was your business report.
That was great. That was exciting. Shout outs to the Airports Authority of Jamaica and Simon Crossgill for putting that news report together. And exciting times for Jamaica. And as the report was saying, it's in its final stages. I think it's just going to be such a beautiful, beautiful airport, and also a much more efficient airport, as it's saying, and something that we can all look forward to. And like I said before, I think we're going to go through, I didn't plan to do this, but we'll just do this together. So, like I said, the Arajet and Wingo, I think they're low-cost areas. They're low-cost carriers, from what I understand. And they've come to the region, and they're really opening Jamaica up. And so let's just look at some flights here. So we're going to be Montego Bay. Okay, look at that. Let's do Montego Bay, Medellin, 9th to the 14th. That's of this month. Let's just take a look at some prices, see how much that costs. No, we don't need notifications. And we'll do our at the same time. All right, let's do, while that's loading up, let's do, where's Montego Bay? Well, there's Kingston. Oh, is it only Kingston? Hold on. Might be only Kingston. Hold on, let's see. Okay, so there's Kingston Bogota. They do weekly. I think that's pretty cool. So that is $300. Blurry here. That's July. Yeah, that's 1 week. Let's see what we got here. So this is our jet. This is $300, $298 round trip. I swore there was Montego Bay flights. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, let's see. Guess so. I guess there's no. All right, let's try from Punta Cana. Let's see if we got anything to Montego Bay. Nope, looks like only Kingston. All right, let's see what our options are. So let's look at Kingston, and we got Bogota, Buenos Aires. Are these direct flights? This is crazy if this is direct flights. I think this is great. So yeah, Kingston has some advantages for sure, as I said before, which I didn't even know this. All right, let's hop back to Wingo. So this is the Colombian airline. So we put in departing from Montego Bay, going to Medellin, July 9th, select one. Oh, shoot, missed it. All right, so let's go basic 166, continue with basic, and then let's select return flight 106. Small back. I mean, none of us are probably going to do that because you just have a backpack. Maybe, I don't know if you can do that. But anyway, you can see return flight round trip Thursday, July 9th to Tuesday, July 14th, $272 round trip. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And then on top of that, I don't know if you've been to Colombia. I mean, you could basically get 4-star hotel for like $100 a night, like in El Poblado, which is like one of the main tourist areas, safest areas. That's where I was when I went to Medellin. I split my time between, it was like a 4 or 5-star hotel, probably paid around that. And then I went to a dedicated Airbnb, which is basically has security at the front. You have to sign in, show ID before you go up the elevators. And it was split between residents that live there and Airbnb. So it was like really set up for that. Again, centrally located. I think I was like, that was under 100. That was probably like maybe $50 a night. Very modern, very up to date, very centrally located. I could walk to the mall that they had there. I was there a lot just because I didn't know any Spanish, or it was hard for me to get around, but like just to interact with people. Of course, like that's one of like my most favorite things is like meeting people in new countries. But the language barrier was tough, but I did my best. But nonetheless, it was important to me that I stayed in a central location and then I could walk to different places. And I know Colombia can get a bad rap for being a very dangerous place, which to some extent it is. You know, if you're not careful, if you're doing stupid things, I feel like anywhere you can get caught up, so to speak. But my point here that I'm making is that you can go to South America, you can go to Bogota, you can go to Medellin. If you're living here in Jamaica, that is, or maybe if you come and visit, you want to do, hop around or whatever. I mean, you can do a 5-day Medellin trip at a pretty, I would say, high level, so to speak, in terms of like 4 or 5-star experience for like $1,200. I mean, that's hard to come by in this day and age for an international trip. Of course, you can backpack and go along that line if you want. We can get that way down. We can get that down to probably 500 if we really want to go hostel, eating this in the cheapest place. Like we can. I've been there. I've done it. It's possible for sure. But I think for our purposes here on this channel, again, I'm just thinking and putting myself in the shoes of future residents of Jamaica, future retirees, future extended travelers in Jamaica that possibly are looking to change things up. You know, maybe you're coming out here and you're staying in Montego Bay for 3 months, or OG for 3 months, or Negril for 6 months. And of course, you want to enjoy your time here. Maybe you want to break it up. Hey, let's go over to Colombia for a long weekend, or even, well, I don't think you have direct flights from Montego Bay to Cuba. I feel like we used to, but definitely from Kingston. That sort of thing. You have options, is what I'm trying to say, and it's really affordable. And I think this is like just great for the region and great for the country. I keep saying. All right, let's get to some comments here. I saw some comments coming in about the Jamaica High Commission in London. I'll reach out to them. See what they say. I think let's see, where is that comment? Are we a couple of them? I have all my paperwork for both parents, and if there is even a minor discrepancy, example misspelling on the paperwork, it's not that straightforward. Pedantic is an understatement. Same here. I mean, it comes from the source, which is here in Jamaica, where everything has to be exact. I understand your frustrations and what you're saying. This is Kaido's statement here. Our question: do you know what it would be great if you could connect with the Jamaica High Commission and have some sort of event for people who want to get their citizenship appointments? I'll reach out. We'll see what we can do. Maybe we can do some sort of partnership or collaboration with them. It's obviously very last minute, but I understand your frustrations there. All right, let's keep going here. Cruising with Conan says that travelers ad just made me want to visit so much. Love the updated room looks. Thank you. We're set to rent for 12 months and looking still for this fall. Awesome. Want to play? Let's make a deal for a 2-bedroom. Hey, reach out. We do some long-term deals, and most hotels do that. So if you're staying for an extended period of time, we're always open to making a deal, so to speak, or giving you a preferred rate if you're staying for an extended period of time. All right, what else we got here? All right, Donna, what's going on? Thanks for being a channel member. Appreciate you. Hello, Throp and Ochi, enjoying my Sunday. Awesome. Happy to hear. Michelle, thank you as well for being a channel member. Appreciate you. Jamaica is definitely a first-class country, and this Montego Bay Airport renovation speaks volumes. Yes, that's the direction that we're heading in. That Jamaica is heading in. It's like first class all the way. You know, that's what I see. All right, let's get on to what's the next thing that we're talking about. Let's bring out. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's bring it up. This is the oil, which we haven't talked about in a long time. Oil Explorer raises £500,000 to fund JA push. United Oil and Gas has raised 105 million Jamaican dollars from 2 unnamed institutional shareholders to shore up its working capital as London Stock Exchange listed Oil Explorer advances efforts to secure a partner for its Walton Morant license offshore Jamaica. This placing by 2 existing long-term institutional shareholders who know the company and its assets well strengthens our working capital at a point when the technical work is complete and the farm-out process is active and progressing, said Brian Larkin, CEO of United, in a market filing on Friday. Well, good to know that things are moving forward with that, and let's see what happens. They continue to, I guess, speculate in a way and lining up their ducks and eggs and all the things. All right, next article. I think this is one of, like, again, speaking to the economy. All right, Jamaica is getting its first Unico all-inclusive resort in Montego Bay with plunge pool suites, cabanas, and a boutique feel. I'm always excited for hotel investments in Jamaica. I think it's great, especially from different markets. One of the top all-inclusive brands in Mexico is coming to the English-speaking Caribbean with Unico's first ever resort in Jamaica. Unico Hotel Collection is officially expanded to the Caribbean island with the upcoming debut of Unico Montego Bay, a new boutique luxury all-inclusive resort scheduled to open early 2027. It's a major addition for the island following the announcement of the project back in 2024. The project will bring the brand's signature adults-oriented luxury all-inclusive concept to Montego Bay, marking its first resort in Jamaica. A new Unico resort for Montego Bay. The forthcoming resort will be located on Jamaica's north coast, one of the Caribbean's most popular luxury tourism corridors and home to many of the island's best-known resorts. While reservations have not yet opened, the hotel has begun teasing the project through official channels, confirming an early 2027 opening. The company describes the project as combining boutique luxury with the convenience of an all-inclusive resort, an approach that has helped establish a Unico brand as one of the more distinctive names in the upscale all-inclusive segment. The resort is being developed under Unico Hotel Collection, part of the AIC Hotel Group's growing portfolio, which also includes luxury hospitality brands across Mexico and the Caribbean. A different kind of all-inclusive. Rather than focusing on the sheer size, the Unico concept has built its reputation around a more intimate luxury experience. The flagship Unico 2087 Hotel Riviera Maya helped redefine expectations for all-inclusive resorts by emphasizing local culture, elevated dining, destination-inspired design, and personalized service alongside the traditional convenience of an all-inclusive vacation. The upcoming Unico Montego Bay is expected to follow that same philosophy, bringing the brand's contemporary aesthetic to one of Jamaica's premier beach destinations. While details are still slim, renderings show a collection of plunge pool rooms, poolside cabanas, and sleek beverage concepts. The company says the new property will deliver the signature Unico experience in a setting overlooking Montego Bay's famous white sand beaches and clear Caribbean water. Additionally, details are expected as the opening approaches. Why Montego Bay? Fewer destinations in the Caribbean have enjoyed sustained momentum of Montego Bay. The city remains Jamaica's primary international gateway, welcoming nonstop flights from dozens of cities across North America, while continuing to attract significant investment in both new resorts and existing hotel renovations. Its location also places visitors within easy reach of attractions throughout Western Jamaica, from Doctor's Cave Beach to the Hip Strip to excursions along the island's north coast. The arrival of another luxury all-inclusive brand reflects continued confidence in Montego Bay's position as one of the Caribbean's leading resort destinations, a growing luxury pipeline. The announcement adds another notable project to Jamaica's expanding luxury hotel pipeline. Over the last several years, the island has welcomed major new resorts, extensive renovations, with brands continuing to invest in destinations including Montego Bay, Negril, Ocho Rios, and the island's south coast. For luxury travelers, the result has been a steadily expanding collection of high-end options, ranging from boutique beachfront retreats to some of the Caribbean's largest all-inclusive resorts. Unico Montego Bay will add another distinctive choice when it opens, particularly for travelers seeking a more boutique interpretation of the all-inclusive experience. What happens next? Reservations for Unico Montego Bay have not been opened, although the company... All right, saying the same thing over and again. I think this is great. I think this is great for Jamaica. As always, like I said, these hotels are going to be slowly opening 2027, 2028, 2029, these big projects that we've been talking about for years. And it's really going to change that northwest corridor, I think, in a really, really, really big way. So congrats to them. Looking forward to another hotel opening in the very near future, just months away, as a matter of fact. I mean, I guess you guys are hearing that. Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. All right, that hopefully that helps a little bit. Sorry, it's just like really annoying, but they gotta get the work done. Shauna, what's happening? Happy Sunday to you. So let me turn this up just a little bit more. Happy Sunday to you. Thanks for joining. Dallaston in the building. What's happening? DJ, thank you for being a channel member. Appreciate you. Hello, Throp, all the way from Sacramento, California. Come to CIM Marathon this December. I wish. That's where I wanted to break 2:30 with CIM. That's where my coach told me to go. It's a fast race. That's where a lot of marathoners are their last chance really in the calendar year to qualify for the Olympic trials, for the U.S. Olympic trials. And that was my goal. That was my dream. But I don't know. I don't think I have the time to train for it. One day I will. It's on my list. All right. Any more comments here? Let's see. Oh, but this was I was just about to make the same thing. That's this announcement again. So for those who are just joining, we are doing a ThropX London Connect next weekend, July 18th in London. Don't have the venue as yet. I will let you know. Just sign up. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. We're gonna put a post out this week. Sign up for the newsletter at thropx.com. We're going to be sending out an email tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and then we'll ask you to join. If you're interested, we'll just ask you to join that mailing list so we can just email those people directly and not bother everybody on the broad open mailing list, so to speak. So next weekend, don't have a venue as yet. We're looking at 2 places. So looking to confirm, hopefully this week. I did it in less than a week's notice last year, so maybe this is what's giving me or making me overconfident. But we'll figure it out. We'll let you know. Thank you for your interest. Julian, what's happening? I'll be back at Travelers tomorrow for a week. Awesome. Looking forward to welcoming you. Excuse me. Hit my mic. I'd like to see a better attitude from those welcoming visitors to Jamaica, especially bus attendants. The constant selling of drugs to tourists needs to stop. Not everyone comes to Jamaica to smoke. Fair statement. Not everyone comes to Jamaica to smoke. Sorry if that was your experience. But it's definitely not every bus driver. I would say most bus drivers are not like that. Most bus drivers are very, very, very professional. But obviously, sometimes one bad apple can spoil the bunch, as you can hear and see in this case. Simone, what's happening? Thank you as well for being a channel member. Blessed Sunday. Throp and Throppers from hot Atlanta. Yeah, it was warm there for sure. 4th time in a year, dude. Man, appreciate you. 4 times in 1 year. Maya Lou. After Hurricane Melissa, it's reassuring to see hotel moguls like Unico continue to invest in Jamaica. It says a lot about the country's stability. Absolutely. I think there are so many projects like that, right? Investments and investors that even despite Melissa, they're sticking it out. They're sticking it out. And I feel like some of them didn't really have to, but they're choosing to push on and push forward. I'm not sure if you've heard, but the numbers in tourism visitors have been down, and it's because of Melissa. I mean, we're feeling it here at Travelers for sure, and even from Hurricane Beryl, like I think people. I don't think that the wider public is kind of really appreciating the back-to-backness of this, of having Hurricane Beryl the year before in 24 and then having Hurricane Melissa in 25. and especially here, South Coast, and also in the Western region in the grill, it really, really has messed us up. And there is, I don't know what it would be called, but there is for sure some sort of like psychological market effect that it has on people potentially booking their vacation to Jamaica. And even at the conference that I was at in Atlanta last week, there were people that I was meeting that still think Jamaica is destroyed or was completely destroyed. And and I'm there setting the record straight. I'm like, man, this is crazy. The country, 90% of the country, maybe more, it was back to normal in like a couple of weeks, especially if like you were in Kingston. Like obviously you don't really feel the effects here. It was very, very, very different for us here and on the south and the western regions of Jamaica. But the whole country wasn't shut down or the whole country wasn't devastated. And I think a lot of the market still thinks that, and it's not something to underestimate. And it's something that we have to counter with marketing, with people sharing their experience as well here in Jamaica, even you all, when you come to visit. And it's something that we need to get out. I'm realizing as I'm traveling, like people still have like, damn, Jamaica is destroyed, which is interesting. I guess if you don't know, you don't know, or maybe you just paid attention that week of Hurricane Melissa and you've gone on with your life, which is understandable. But that just makes us we just have to do our job better, and just be more relentless about getting the word out. Of course, as somebody just stated there in Darleston, there are places in Westmoreland that are still very much devastated. People's life, and I again, as a reminder, like there are many, many people's lives that have been completely uprooted and have gone on a completely different trajectory. There are still many, many hotels in Montego Bay that are still closed, that are still going on a renovation. Even here, Royalton is still closed. I think they're opening. Don't quote me on this. I believe they're opening next month. I believe. Don't quote me on that. But there are still hotels that are closed. I get it. But again, Jamaica is open for business. Jamaican tourism is open for business as well. And I think it's important to really get that word out. We're looking at summer is usually slow anyway, but it's definitely looking like a pretty rough summer for sure. Again, just generally speaking. And mind you, that is with room inventory being relatively low because, again, I don't know how many rooms Royalton the Grill has, but that at least a few hundred, right? Excuse me. So you have a few hundred room inventory that it's just not available, and you're still having a low occupancy, meaning that there are less choices for people to make as to where to stay, at least they're normally. And then same thing, you can say the same thing in Montego Bay. Many hotels are still closed there, doing their renovations, rebuilding, etc., and we're still suffering from a low occupancy. And it's an uphill battle, and I think it's important reminder for us as a country and as southwest and in being in the southwestern region. And also, want to make mention as well, it's like things have also gotten, maybe this has to do with it as well, is that things have also gotten more expensive here. And I don't know if you guys remember me talking about a scarcity of chicken, a scarcity of eggs. This was like immediately after the hurricane. And then the lag or lead time for crops to grow back. So like, lettuce was there. I forget what it was. I think it was lettuce was extremely expensive as well. And there is an inherent inflation that comes with these storms, and especially when they hit the South Coast, the breadbasket of Jamaica. When things get destroyed and upended, prices are going to go up, and inflation is going to happen. And inflation was already happening globally. Then we get hit with a Category 5 hurricane. Construction materials as well have gone up astronomically. And, Jamaica wasn't cheap to begin with. We all know that. Jamaica was not cheap to begin with. And so all the ingredients, let's say, that go into having or experiencing Jamaica from a visitor standpoint, that has increased, and it's something to be managed, and it's something to be, especially from an entrepreneurial standpoint, an entrepreneur standpoint, and it's just trying to navigate that. And mind you, think about the people living here as well. Like all of this stuff has gone up, all of this stuff has gone up and has increased unexpectedly, at least at the rate that it has recently. And it's something that we're all managing. And I know we're doing it here at Travelers as well. So something to keep in mind as you book your vacations, as you are looking to build your homes. We're doing a construction project, and I should say my dad is doing a construction project more than anything else. And one thing that he made sure that he did is, like, right after Melissa, like, he tried to buy up as much of the material that he needed for his projects uh, as he could as quickly as possible, because even the hardware stores were saying, like, expect prices to go up because of scarcity and the difficulty in getting certain materials. And remember, most of the things that we need we are importing, and so something to take into consideration for all of our goals. Again, building your dream home, buying into a development. I'm sure new developments, I would assume those prices are going to go up as well, because everything is going up. Anyway, long rant on that. Let's get to some comments here real quick. Donna Bryce says people are also cutting back on their travel spend as high cost of living. It's hard. Yep, I understand that. Jamaica is worth it but sometimes not a budget friendly as other destinations. Yeah, and I keep saying this, and it's just I don't see it moving in another direction. Jamaica is not, at least not what it used to be. Jamaica used to be, and this is from my college days, high school days. You can, like, it was a budget destination in like a spring break respect, right? And I always go back to this example, and this is like early 2000s. You'd be able to get a flight, hotel, meal plan, and drink party plan for under $1,000, $999, which is insane. Of course, you'd be crammed in a room with 4 to 6 people, but you could do that. Impossible to do now. I can't see it. Even, going to from a backpacker's perspective, not a lot of options in Jamaica. There's Airbnbs, of course, there's hostels, we have that. But again, hostel owners' overhead is very similar to that of somebody running a hotel. As we know, we have one of the highest electricity costs in the world here in Jamaica, and to run your hotel's electricity, the water's up there as well. And so, yeah, Jamaica is not a budget destination. Like, I don't, that's the last time with the spring break example that I can remember that Jamaica was somewhat of a budget destination. Perhaps even, I think back to Negril and the hippie days, fishing village, people just coming here, pitching a tent. And that was very attractive, very rustic. But those days are gone. Even looking at, with the unfortunate, I think, failure and bankruptcy of Spirit Airlines, I think that also has a huge effect on travel globally. Even if you weren't a fan of Spirit or never flew them, they still were just such an asset to the travel industry because, the direct effect of having a cheaper airline carrier, and you can, if you're on a budget, you have that option. But then it also forced the other airline carriers to be more competitive with their pricing, with their offerings, and it was very impactful in that respect. And now it no longer exists. We were just looking at airline prices. I was looking at, I'm a Delta person, and Let's bring up Delta. Oh, thank goodness I'm signed out. All right, let's do. So I did. I was in Atlanta. Let's do round trip. Let's do Friday to Tuesday. Let's just see how much it is. This is next weekend. Look at that. Main cabin, $934. Like this is, I think these are like the regular prices. Like I did this for, where was it? Even before this trip before, I think was it New York that I can't remember. It wasn't Atlanta. No, I went to Dallas. I think it was like not Dallas. San Antonio. I think it was like $700 round trip. I think that these are the normal prices for now. I don't know. Let's check, maybe, all right. Let's check September. Maybe we get some better prices there. September 1st to September 8th. Okay, more reasonable. 527. Should we do Christmas? All right, let's see what we could do. Let's do Christmas. Let's just for fun. Let's do let's boom. This is December 21st. Damn, right back up there. $1,000. $1,000. Man. I'm sure if we go to Google Flights, we can find cheaper. But maybe somebody can explain this to me, but I think this is definitely one of the effects of Spirit going down. But it's an interesting time, it really is as things become more and more expensive. It's just like Jamaica is continuing to reposition itself. And I think the services that we have here, the hotels, everything, we just continue to reposition ourselves. I was saying this, oh man, me and my brothers, me and my brothers did a retreat was it a month ago? Anyway, sometime last month, and we were in Kingston and we were going out for dinner. And it's just like, your entrees, I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago on the stream. I mean, your entrees are pretty much $30 minimum, like $30, $40. That's the entrees that we were seeing for dinner. And you're just like, what are you going to do? Like everywhere we went was somewhere around that price point. And we went to a nice steak spot as well. Obviously that was a little bit elevated price, but this seems to be like the norm. And at least here in Jamaica, I think a lot of it has to do again with Hurricane Melissa. It just kind of accelerated the inflation. And yeah, this is not a budget destination, at least right now. Pat, what's going on? Happy Sunday to you as well. Quantities, what's happening? Still looking for a solid Jamaica investment, but with the risk, expenses, and taxes, I don't see a 10% net return. Would love to see an expert provide breakdown real options. I think that's a fair question. We're looking actually to try and get an economist on. We have one in mind that we've already reached out to. I think we're just working on dates. Rasta Pitney. Some people in the diaspora wants extension of their experience in more developed country to complement them in Jamaica. That is crazy. They are missing out on what Jamaica is. Jamaica is a vibe. Agree with you on Jamaica being a vibe. Donna, JTB needs to market stressing that Jamaica has something for all budgets. I think so too, but that flight, we got to figure out that flight situation. I really, really, really do. I think that's important. That kind of dictates in many ways. Obviously, flight and accommodation. And that dictates a lot of the vacation. I also think, as even though we just read this article on this luxury hotel opening in Montego Bay, which I think is great, I think from an entrepreneurial perspective, I think doing something that is a little bit more budget friendly. I mean, you could find a really, really great lane there. I mean, you'd have to be extremely efficient in how you operate your business. I think if you're doing a business or especially anything with accommodations or building your home, water harvesting is important. I think solar panels is very, very important. You got to think of all these things when you're doing construction from the get-go. Glenton Winter, happy Sunday, everyone. Question for the Negril area: how many doctors you have access to? Oh man, so many. I mean, we have a hospital here in Negril, and then there's my phone. I'm sure. I mean, and I'm just like looking up how many, I'm just typing in DR in my phone and see how many doctors come up. Quite a few. I mean, even the ones that I'm thinking off the top of my head. So we have tons of doctors in Negril. I always say, I'll speak for Negril. With the healthcare availability here in Negril, in some respects, in many respects, it's better than many parts of the U.S. in the sense that in what do I say, general care, right? So if you're doing a checkup, if you need to get your prescriptions, I always go back to the example, like I've had to get stitches twice here in Jamaica. The doctor actually came to call him up. And this is not because I'm special. There are home calls, if you will, that doctors do, and they will come and they will see you personally. At the time was $100 US. I'm not sure what it is now. And they'll come take care of you. And so I got stitched up. Basketball, my brother elbowed me, like split my eye open. I was going to go to the hospital. I was like, oh, let me call up Dr. So-and-so. They came here, literally stitched me up right here in this chair, as a matter of fact. And, that was that. Within an hour, they were here. I didn't have to go make an appointment, make a call, wait in line, or nothing like that. So that sort of thing, I think, is very, very awesome if you have the means. And that's no insurance. That's nothing. That's straight up. Same thing with even doing like your regular normal checkups that can be done. Doing lab work, I think, is very easy, very straightforward here. And I think I find it more convenient than even in the States, having to make an appointment sometimes weeks out. I can, if I wanted to go see my doctor for a doctor appointment tomorrow or the next day, I could do that very, very easily. Again, that's not because it's me. It's just kind of how it is. And got the hospital here, as I mentioned before, Omega Medical Hospital. Jamaica 278 says, Throp, we noticed most builders have priced their self out of the market, lag in sales with the exit of Spirit Airlines, no more cheap flights. Did you mean builders like developments? Please clarify that, Jamaica 278. Donna Bryce says Jamaica needs to have a strong push towards solar. Agree with that. The liquor creep. Why would someone invest in Jamaica when there's Belize, Costa Rica, DR? Why, from a business perspective, would we invest? Please state yay or nay. I always say, I'm one person. I've been saying this from the get. Encourage everybody to do their due diligence at the end of the day. And it's your money, it's your savings, it's your potential investment. And you should compare apples to apples, whether that's these places that you named, Miami, Dubai. You should be considering all areas. And we're living in a globalized economy here. And you shouldn't necessarily just only be listening to me. I don't think anybody is. I hope people are doing their research outside of me and using what we discuss here on this channel, on this platform, as a data point and the conversations that I have here to learn about the opportunities that exist in Jamaica. And perhaps that aligns with your investment appetite. And sometimes for different people, it's different reasons. For different people, it's different reasons. Some people, there was this video, I just remembered it. Maybe sometime we'll take a look at it. I don't know if anybody saw this video about this, or did we discuss it? I can't remember. Maybe we did. My memory's gone. But anyway, there's this person who lived in Jamaica for an extended period of time. I forget how long, but they hated Jamaica. And some people will come to Jamaica and they will hate Jamaica and they will say, why would I ever invest here? I could never live here. I could never. And I think that's fair. Like, everybody's experience and expectations are very, very different. And I respect all of it. I honestly respect all of it. But then on the other side of that coin, there are people who would never want to live anywhere else. And they absolutely love Jamaica. They love the vibe. They get a feeling of just euphoria and being relaxed that they don't have in their current home country. And a lot of people, I will say that many people who came to ThropX this year expressed that to me. They expressed it during ThropX and also even after ThropX, this post-Jamaica depression that they felt when they left. And it was this drag to go back to their normal life at their respective homes. And they cannot and could not wait for the next Jamaica thing. And they want to talk about Jamaica, and they want to continue to figure out how they're going to move here, how they're going to invest here. And that's beautiful. And I think that's great. And I think that we are just so lucky and fortunate, many of us on this platform, and having these discussions and sitting here and you guys listening to me talk about this. I think it's just so lucky, and we should be so grateful that we even have the ability to dream about doing this, and the opportunity to put ourselves on a path, on a journey to eventually invest in somewhere outside of their home, or even have the option to say, I'm not really feeling Detroit. I think I want to get out of here. I want to move to Jamaica. I want to move to Costa Rica. I want to move somewhere else. I'm going to do that within the next 10 years. I'm out of here. There's some people that have no shot at that, not even an inkling, because they have too much debt, they have a family to take care of, a parent, whatever have you. And it's impossible for them to do that, and they're stuck. But we are lucky enough to be having these discussions. We're strategizing, we're thinking, we're comparing, we're contrasting. And I think it's a beautiful position to be in. I'll go back to my Bali trip. People love Bali, digital nomad capital of the world, so to speak. And people are living the dream out there. That place is not for me. It just didn't align with me, didn't align with who I am, what I'm looking for. I couldn't live there. It's just not for me, not what I expected. Doesn't meet my expectations, doesn't meet the lifestyle that I'm going after, the vibe that I'm going after. And I think that's fair, and I think that should be respected, even perhaps on a more global level perspective, if you will. People will say that I'm crazy. Nah, not if you. No, if I'm not gonna trash Bali or anything like that. But I could tell you, like, me and my friends, we're all on the same page about this. My two friends that took the trip with me, like, we're good on that. We're good on that. And so, in terms of like, and I would just encourage you to, as you consider, this is not just for the liquor creep here, 183. This is for everybody. It's like, you want to make, sometimes perhaps for some, there's an emotional attachment to this, and there is a deeper reason, if you will, just that's outside the numbers, so to speak, as to why you want to live here, why you want to move there. And I think that also should be respected. But objectively, there are some really, really great things coming to Jamaica and happening here. And you can, yes, go to a more mature market, so to speak, and invest there, and maybe at whatever price point, whatever it is. But from my perspective, I believe Jamaica is on the upward trajectory, and I think we're getting in the bottom, so to speak, here with all these great things that are coming to Jamaica. So I'll leave it at that, and you make what the best decision for you and for your family, and what aligns with what you're looking for in an investment. He says, by the way, American who just got my Jamaican citizenship. Awesome. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on that. I think that was a very, very smart move on your behalf. Simone says, yep, those are the normal prices from ATL, which blows my mind for a flight that's less than 2.5 hours. Crazy, crazy. Maybe I need to start looking at New York then in that regards. Dennis Marshall, it's hard for Jamaica to get back like before, especially with no airline and the high price. So I'm assuming you mean like Air Jamaica Airline. Kaido says, It seems that JA is being positioned as a mecca for the 1%, but why? H&WI are highly mobile and aren't going to contribute that much to economy on a consistent basis. Sorry. So what I'll say to this, and I'm not saying it's better or worse or it should be or shouldn't be. I'm saying like what it is, and then also the direction that we're heading in, right? And I've been saying this from probably almost the beginning of this channel when I started this channel, is that Jamaica is moving in a luxury direction. I mean, every sign that I see is pointing to that. Every sign, every single sign. And I'm not saying that it's the best thing. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying it is what it is. Like, and let's call a spade at the end of the day. And I say for those who are listening and watching this, I think our thinking should be like, let's take the emotion out of it and let's see, how do we position ourselves for this future? And if you have evidence to the contrary, I'd love to hear about it. I love to know about it, but I don't see any evidence saying that we're moving in a more budget-friendly direction. I haven't seen any evidence saying that Jamaica is going to be cheaper in the future. Everything is pointing in the opposite direction from the hotels. I mean, that's one of the main indicators. I mean, look at the airport. This airport is gonna win awards. I'll tell you that right now. That airport is going to win international awards, and it is going to be a pleasure. It's going to be an experience going through that airport, leaving and coming. I see that already, and Jamaica is looking to be the best in so many ways, and top in so many ways. Like, look at the road infrastructure. Look at where the road infrastructure is going in terms of like the towns and the cities throughout the island. It's happening. I don't know what else to say, and what else that you need to see to kind of understand that. All I'm saying is we're going, the train has left the station in that direction, right? And so what can you do? What can we do to position ourselves for this future? Unless you believe otherwise, then act accordingly. But I don't see any evidence to say that it's not going to be that way. That's all I'll say on that. Jamaica 278 Throp, I believe there is oversupply of homes, 500,000 to 700,000 in Jamaica, which is sitting on the market. Interesting. Which region would you say? I'm not gonna fight you on that. I'm not going to fight you on that because I remember having a conversation. This was last year. I was having a conversation with somebody about this price point, this exact price point with Kingston. And I don't know that market that well, to be honest, to make a conclusion. But what this person was saying, and they're in building and they're in real estate, they were just saying what you're saying here is that there are an oversupply of these types of apartments in Kingston. And then again, this was last year. Maybe things have changed. And they're sitting on the market. They're empty as well because people can't afford them. And people can't afford not only to buy them, but they can't afford to rent them. Maybe things have changed. I don't know if this is the region that you're talking about, but I would have to do some more research on this to get a little bit better understanding to really make a conclusion on that. But interesting take. Yolan, we listened to you, but also did our due diligence. My husband and I are moving home to Jamaica after 40 plus years in the U.S. We are super excited. Awesome. Congratulations to you both. And that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Don't just listen to some guy on the internet because they got a mic and a camera, right? Not that, right across the board, not just here. I'm happy for you guys, and I'm glad you guys made that decision. And I think that's one that you will not regret, especially with everything that's coming and happening. Hey, this is why we're leaving Canada for One Love Family, Jamrock. Awesome. Joanne, hey, Throp, is the hospital in the Grill public? No, it's a private hospital. That's a private hospital. That's Omega Medical Hospital. Kaido, right across the street from Travelers, right across the street from here. Kaido, would you raise children in Jamaica? Yes, absolutely. I always say I've had this discussion with my team here just as early as recently as last week, as a matter of fact. So we're trying to get some private schools to come to ThropX this year in November. So we're looking at, oh man. So ASIC, so I was told this is not how it's said. AISK, I call it ASIC. Nobody knew I was talking about. That school in Kingston, it's like an international private school. I follow them on Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where I want my kids to go. Because the kids there are spectacular. A lot of diplomat kids go there as well. And a very, very international, multicultural school. And I love that. That's how I grew up, and that's what I would want for my kids. There's also Fairfield Academy in Montego Bay, Reading area. We're trying to invite them, and then some prep schools as well. And the discussion we were having was specifically about schools here in the Western region. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'll give the example. I had a friend who has kids, his kids born and raised here in Jamaica, and his oldest kid, I forget what grade it was, but let's say 6 or 7 years old, was going to school here in Jamaica, in the Western region here in the Grill. And long and short is that they did not, as a family, as a couple, they weren't satisfied with the education and also the habits, etc., that their kid was bringing home. And then they had this is the oldest kid, and then the siblings behind that kid. They were thinking about the future. They ended up leaving and moving to Florida for a better education and better better education at the end and childhood experience, which is kind of crazy. And, I think, me and my brothers, we don't have kids, but we think about the next phase of our lives as it relates to school and everything like that. And I think about that as well. And we don't even have a high school in the Grill. I keep saying that. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. This is a good question that I battle with. I feel like, this is my personal opinion, I would have a kid to go here for, let's say, up to 5 years old. I think I can see that, my kids growing up on this beach and loving it, being out in nature. Awesome. But here, I don't, and I'm in the schools, I'm in the schools with my family's nonprofit organization. And sometimes I'm like, how the heck do these kids learn? Like, I'm not going to name schools, but in that respect, like, I'm outside, I'm there, and the principals, the teachers, they're doing the best that they can with what they have. And it is mind boggling sometimes, like, how these kids learn and get through school. And then the expectation for them is so high as well. And they're not necessarily being given the resources that they need to be successful students. And sometimes they have to grow up a lot quicker than they should in these situations, not necessarily just dealing with the school, but the communities that they have to go home to. And so, would I raise my children in Jamaica? Yes. In the Grill, I'm not sure. Put it that way, straight up. I'm not sure. We got Manning's High School in South Lamar, which is one of, people say, the oldest schools in Jamaica. And it is one of the best high schools in Jamaica, hands down, no question. But even with that, still, is my kid going to commute 45 minutes to one way? I don't like that. We're talking, if I were to have a kid tomorrow, probably talking 14 years from now, maybe things will change. But still, I don't know, nigga. I was just like, I think about, I don't even have a wife, and I'm like talking about this and thinking about this, but I also put myself in your shoes, right? And people who have young families, and I always say, like, as Negril is set up as of today, it's not the best community to do that in. I mean, I have to be honest, I have to be frank, and that's from a social standpoint, but then also even having like a fulfilling, well-rounded childhood. Obviously, we're doing it. Like, we have tons of kids here. You know, it's possible. It's not to say that like it's the worst idea in the world, but especially if you're coming from another, coming from North America or Europe or something like that, you have different set of expectation, right? And but you get what I would be going after in a Montego Bay, probably more so in a Kingston for sure. They have great schools out there. Maybe it would be a little different if you go to, I feel like this is completely left field, but like, say if you were living in like Treasure Beach and going to those small school, like those kids, like that's very different. It's like country style learning and education. Everybody knows everybody. You get that in the grill too. But from what I saw, they're not overcrowded like the schools here. Way calmer. I haven't spent time inside those schools. Like, I've gone by them, that sort of thing. I think different vibe. Monroe is out there as well. So yeah, just kind of this is kind of what I think. Jamaica, yes. Negril, I don't know. And then even for like young people who move to Negril, of course, people want to, some sort of social life, nightlife. Negril doesn't have a lot of nightlife options. Honestly, we have great restaurants, but lounges, bars, clubs. We have rum bars, yes, for sure. But you're going to get more of that in Montego Bay. You're going to get more of that in Kingston. You're going to have more diversity out there as well. And even as I build my team here in Negril, I just put out a post for a video editor. Alignment is like really, really important in terms of like a person's personality. Like, if you're a part, excuse me, if you're a young party person that needs a lot of stimulation and then you're coming here for a job, it's just like, this is not for you. Like, Negril is just way more relaxed. I always say this is like a great place for people to like. I love training out here. I love routine. I love regiment, and that's what I like about Negril. But to your question here, raise children. Whew, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Rasta Pickney. Why would somebody buy a Benz or Range Rover when you can have a cheaper option? Jamaica is in that category. There you go. Kaido, I asked because I know some people particularly educate their kids in Jamaica and then send them abroad for the remaining portion of their education. Yeah, kind of. I guess maybe that situation that I explained with my friend. Yeah, my kid could do whatever they want, but they would probably, university, master's degree, postgraduate degree, probably going to be outside of Jamaica. Not that there's anything wrong with Yui, but if they got the brains and the smarts to get a full ride to Harvard or Babson, then why not? Jamaica, what's going on? If only one Jamaican on the island can see how much Jamaica has been transformed, Brand Jamaica is here to stay. Great job. 1 p.m. under the government. More expats are returning back home. Oh, Jamaica, I don't know if you heard, we're coming to London next week, next Saturday, doing ThropX Connect. Hope you can make it again like you did last year. Natalie, hi, Throp and Throppers, a bit behind on the live, but made it. Nice to have you. Natalie Morales, 1705. Carlene Ruddock, those who want to live in Jamaica will do so. There you go. Natalie says, feel you on Bali. Did it once. No regrets, but I'm good. Same here. I am good. Mad Train, what's happening? Hail Throp and good party. Donna Swaby, hi. I think everyone that you're saying is true. I'm moving to Jamaica soon. I think Hurricane Melissa slowed it down and delay for what is coming, but it will bounce back for sure. Yes, I agree. It will bounce back. I mean, I think we're going to bounce back stronger than ever. It's just going to, the lead time. I'm going to do some more research on this. I was speaking to somebody at the conference that I went to last year. She's from New Orleans. And she was telling me, like, after Hurricane Katrina, what happened. And then she's also, oh man, I wish I took her contact information. Did I? No, I didn't. I wish I took her contact. I wanted to follow up with her. But anyway, she's in a profession that has to do with like social societal studies, I should say. And she was just telling me about like how Hurricane Katrina afterwards, like it took them like 5 years to get themselves back on their feet. But afterwards, there was like this explosion in investment. And she was saying it was unfortunate because there were so many outsiders that came and bought up land and homes for pennies on the dollar. And now they are the ones who are benefiting exponentially from that investment. Food for thought, food for thought. But I look at that as an experience that I will look into, and I'm sure that there are patterns that we can learn from as a country. At least that's what I'll do on my own personal time and my own personal research. Oh, sorry, I skipped this. Jamaica will co-host 2031 FIFA Women's World Cup. That is a sign of real progress, putting JA on the world stage. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Thank you for that. D. Balch, 2008. I'm from the United States. I've been retired in Jamaica for 4 years. I lived in Kingston for a year. I've never felt unsafe or avoid anyone on the streets that seemed suspicious. Same here. I never felt unsafe here in Jamaica either. Been here 20 years this year, 20 years last month, which is crazy. And, knock on wood, it's been great for me as well. Jam says, if you can raise kids in the U.S., you can certainly raise them in Jamaica. Agreed. There's no doubt about that. Kaido, last comment from me because I know I'm being annoying, Chatty Patty. No, keep them coming. No problem. I understand and agree that the shift towards luxury. My only thought is that how that affects the locals in the long term. And I agree. That's something I think of too. I always say, like, and this will kind of always be my thing. It's just like, I think ultimately it does create opportunity. I do think, of course, we can ask what kind of opportunity. I think that's a fair question. I do think, continue to say that we need to move and diversify outside of tourism, but you need to make the investment now. Long-term investment in education, to me, will always be the way to go. We haven't seen a substantial shift in that direction and focus in that direction. But I hope it comes. Kaido says, I don't have kids either, but asking anyway, good to be prepared. Yeah, I think so as well. Something to think about. Maya, brilliant move bringing private schools to November ThropX. I think so too. Thank you. Quantities. It would be great to have an expert on Throp explain what attracts true luxury buyers to Jamaica. Developers must deliver real luxury, not just the word. Most projects fall short of Miami CTNC. I agree. I've been to great point quantities. Really, really great point. And also, I think this is a great opportunity for future developers and people who are considering becoming developers. And you ask yourself the question, what is luxury? What is true luxury? And I've been to some developments, small and large, and you go to these places. Some of them have been complete. Some of them have their sample home, model unit, whatever you want to call it. And you're like, this is luxury. It's just not there. It's like, yeah. It will fool the uninformed buyer, put it that way. But if you're, say, a multimillionaire, maybe this is your third or fourth home, whatever, or maybe you just have a really nice home in Miami and you're looking for another place here in Jamaica, you will know and feel almost immediately like that the material being used on these finishes is not luxury. I've been to a few places like that here in Jamaica. And I think developers need to be aware of that. I think the designers, the interior designers specifically of some of these developments need to be aware of this, that the consumer is not going to be fooled by this, putting lipstick on a pig. Not that to say that these developments units are piggish, but you understand the sentiment that I'm trying to make here is that people aren't going to be fooled by this stuff. It may look good in pictures, but when you go there and you experience it, and it does not give you this feel of luxury. You're paying $1 million for this place, and the finishes are just run of the mill. And just something to take into consideration. I think you're making a very, very good point here, Quantities, an excellent point here, Quantities. And I've seen it quite a few times. But then you'll go to, I've also been to places where they're smaller, a little bit more intimate, and you'll see that, oh wow, this developer put a lot of thought into this, and the materials are very high end and high quality. And I notice this, I notice this. Because I go to these things so much, and I think, let me hold back that comment. Might go too far, might upset some people. Jamaica says, what's the dates for London? 18th. Next weekend, July 18th. It'll be around 12 o'clock. London ThropX Connect. Rich, what's going on? Question for you, Throp. If you don't mind, if you did not have a family business that brought you back to Jamaica, is there another area where you would live in Jamaica? Where I would live in Jamaica? I mean, it would really be dependent on how I would make my money, right? I love Treasure Beach. And it also depends on where I am in my life, right? So now, as 42-year-old Throp, it'd probably be Treasure Beach or Port Antonio. And if I could work from my computer and if I can make my money that way, 100%. It just fits my lifestyle. I can train. I can be in nature. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I don't need so much stimulation. But if now I'm in my 20s and when I'm moving here at 22, I don't think that would be for me. Just wouldn't be for me at that time, putting myself back in the mindset of a 22-year-old Throp moving to Jamaica. Just not enough stimulation. Also, because I even when I was 22, when I came here, I did not have enough stimulation. I was not being challenged intellectually by the people around me. I think that's also very, very important that a lot of people don't take into consideration. It's who's going to be your friends when you move here? Because it's different, right? And I could tell you the thing that I was missing when I was 22 was the random conversation that I would have with somebody at happy hour in New York City about world affairs, or about the Knicks, or about the Jets. Those sorts of interactions are about this book that this person had read that just kind of changed the trajectory of how they thought about money. Those types of conversations I severely missed and yearned for when I was 22 here in Negril. And I remember saying and thinking to myself, I feel like I'm getting stupider. And I head of my heart, that was one of the main motivations behind me going back to business school after being here for 4 years, because I was not being challenged intellectually. Negril's a very different place now. It is quite a bit more diversified. I think there are more diversified social circles here than was in 2022. So, but I think I would have gotten that if I were in Kingston for sure. Kingston is a very, very international city with diplomats, as I mentioned before, people working for these different embassies. There's so many subgroups and clubs there, running clubs, chess club. There was even this yesterday, There was a Muay Thai fight last night, which I was watching on Instagram. And so there's like a lot more diversification in people, in activities and hobbies. And so, and then of course, nightlife, which is what I was definitely looking for more so in my early 20s and meeting people. And so you'd get that in a Kingston. So to answer your question, it really depends on where I would be in my life cycle, so to speak. But now the grill, like you're still not, like I said before, you're not going to get the nightlife. And the grill had a much more vibrant nightlife in my early 20s, in the early to mid 2000s. Just like literally you had 3 or 4 different places to choose from on some nights because there was so much crowd at each one of these parties and you were just trying to choose the best of the best. Now it's like you're lucky if you have one, and that's a great opportunity. I'll say that. I'll say it's a great opportunity. And hi, Throp and Throppers. I'm chiming in from the grill this week. Awesome. Nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Honest Swipe says, we have $1 trillion in investments currently ongoing all over the country. How do you feel about that? I need some context there. Is that public sector investments, private sector investments that you're referring to? MJ Throp, you live in Jamaica longer than me, and I was born there. Damn, I'm old. That's crazy. That is crazy. Making me feel real old. Jamaica says, would you class the Pinnacle Towers as true luxury in Jamaica? Yeah, I would. And I would say, even with, most especially with the amenities, and the technology that you're getting there, the pools, and then also you're getting the branded residence by Accor, which was announced a few months ago. And that is the first luxury branded residence in Jamaica. So it's not just the 4 walls, it's the service that you're getting, and that is being guaranteed by working with a hospitality group of that caliber that's coming to Jamaica. So yes, you know what I'm saying? It's not just somebody's just putting up 4 pretty walls and calling it luxury. It's the service that's coming with it as well. So I think that's one of the main difference, plus the amenities throughout the property. Travel with Claire says, I would always choose Kingston. I don't blame you. I mean, the main thing that I hate about Kingston is the traffic, but you meet some really dynamite people in Kingston every time I go there. Dynamite people, especially a lot of the young people. They're doing like really amazing, just fantastic, interesting things from an entrepreneurial perspective. And then you just meet this very globalized citizens there as well. And so I can't disagree with you on that. And then the restaurants are good. Don't have a ton of nightlife experience in Kingston. There are so many different staple night activities that I just haven't experienced that people have told me about. Because like I'm always just going there for business and coming back, or having to wake up super early the next morning. So I never really had a chance to experience a nightlife, but I hear it's great. And as I said before, all the great different clubs that they have there as well. Jamaica says, I believe the local market in Jamaica doesn't offer luxury finishes where developers and individuals can purchase products. You're kind of making the point. You're maybe even in better said than I was saying it before. But yes, a lot of the local developers fall into that category. And you're just like, I could see it. I was like, man, this stuff is cheap, and you're calling it luxury, and you're selling it for a luxury price. A lot of local developers fall into that category, like no question, And I remember when Dawn Gray said this at the first ThropX. She's like, if you're buying a piece of real estate or property in Jamaica, you have to come and see it. And I think it's very, very important for you to do that as well. If you're buying something, come down and see it. You're buying a piece of land, come down and see it. And I know so many people, and for many people, it's worked out. Bless you on that. But I think it's important to touch and feel and see what you're going to buy. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And sometimes it may not be what you think it is. Rich says, thanks for answering, Treasure Beach. I'm the same. I'm at a stage in my life where the chill vibe of a place like Negril or Treasure Beach that you speak highly of are more my vibe. Same here. Same here. And I think Treasure Beach is a lovely place to raise a family and to be a young family in Treasure Beach. But like that has to complement the personalities of you and your partner and how you want to raise your kid, because you're gonna raise your kid on a beach in rural Jamaica, and I think that there's just something so beautiful about that. It really, really is something very, very beautiful about doing something like that. But that has to align with you guys, you know. And for me to like even as I think about that example in my head, I still want to travel. I still just going back to how we opened up the conversation today about these two new budget carriers that are coming to Jamaica or that are in Jamaica, excuse me. I still want to be out. I still want to go to South America. I still want to go to Europe. I still want to go to different parts of the states that I haven't seen. So that is still very much going to be a part of my life. And I expect it to be whenever it is that I move into that phase of my life. So something for you to take into consideration as well. If travel is something that you enjoy or you like doing. Kaido says Jungle was a good night out back in the day. Not sure how it is now. Not what it used to be, quite frankly. I remember, back in the day, you used to come out the jungle and the sun was coming out. I mean, that's how you knew you were having a good time. I haven't seen one of those nights. I mean, I'm out the nightlife game anyway, but still, man, that was regular. Thursday, and you'd wake up, and I wake up. You would come out the club Friday morning, and the sun was coming up, and then you'd go get breakfast. Good times, good times. Good question to travel with Claire. Why Kingston? I think that's a great question. If you're still there, Claire, we'd like to hear. The kitchen, what's going on? Hi, Throp. The education system in Jamaica at a foundational level has proven over the years to be more advanced than the U.S. Invariably, children who transfer discover they are more advanced. I've heard this before. This is true to an extent, right? And I think from a curriculum standpoint, yes, I think there is something to that. But if you go to certain schools that are overcrowded and don't have the resources that they need to manage the amount of students that they have, you might find that experience is not the same for every student, right? And there's so many different factors that go into that. That's kind of a loaded thing to say, because you have what's happening in their home. You have more than likely a single parent household as well, their community, and how that is. So I think from a curriculum standpoint, I think there is merit to what you're saying. But then, I think back to my friend and him making his best decision for his family and for his kids to move to Florida. And they're smart people. There's a reason why they did that. There's a reason why that they felt that their kids weren't getting the competitive advantage that they need to make it in this world as an adults. They had to get up and leave. Again, this is a personal experience. It was had by one of my friends in this region of Jamaica, and that's not necessarily the experience of the wider Jamaica. Quantity says the luxury materials installation should be designed, specified, and coordinated by experienced professionals, not left to store salespeople. Sometimes that's the reality, though. MJ, don't feel old. I'm way older than you. I just lived in 2 countries outside of Jamaica at a young age. Gotcha. All right. Okay, that makes me feel better. Sorry. All right. I don't think I got anything else. Oh, let's go over to the news articles real quick. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave it there. Hold on, let's check the subscribers real quick. I told you guys to subscribe. If you didn't subscribe, make sure you subscribe. We got 6 more people to get to 69,000 subscribers. 6 people are in here I know are not subscribed and are probably watching it on the replay. Hit that subscribe button. It'll help out a lot. All right, I think we're gonna leave it there. We got let's see what's coming up this week. We got another live stream. I'm trying to continue our Thursday live stream. So I'm just checking the calendar here. Maybe it's next week. I can't remember. Yeah, it's not on this calendar. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we're going to do a live stream on Thursday, 4 o'clock. If you're around, it should be a good one. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to get it done no matter what. And then just as another reminder, ThropX London Connect is Saturday, July 18th, 12 p.m. somewhere. If you're interested, sign up on the mailing list at thropx.com. When we get you that information and have a sign-up sheet there. Love to have you join us. Should be a good time. Always love meeting you all in person. Let's got some last comments here. Nikki, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Carlene, when I was growing up, you had to balance regular school and extra lessons. I know all about that. Plus sports for me every season. Maya, thoroughly enjoyed today's combo. Well-rounded. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all for joining. Hop on here on Thursday. Look out for the email if you're interested in coming to ThropX London Connect. You can sign up there. We'll get it out for you tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you on Thursday. Peace, everybody.